Hello and welcome to Unexplained Possibilities Podcast. I'm your host, Melvin the Crimson Taurus, and with me is my partner in crime, Rose the AlienQueen.
Hi everyone, it's finally good to be back.
Yeah, you were down and out for a little bit and had to go semi-solo.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Melvin. I've been really busy with work and then I got sick, so go figure.
Yeah, it happens. Life happens. But glad you're back.
I am happy to be back.
So, what is today's topic?
I think we need to discuss a little bit more about our extraterrestrial beings that are visiting this planet, and maybe a little bit more about my encounters. And we should go through the different types of alien encounters and what they mean.
That's a heavy topic.
Yeah. We're fully getting into it.
And this will sort of be a two-part ordeal. When we start talking about your encounters, it'll lead into a few other encounters, and if you guys stick by us, you'll see as time goes on and a few more podcasts pass, you'll see. But this is going to lead into a few other things. Now, your encounters, do you know what type of scale you would actually rate them on, or you would go by?
Like for the close encounter of a fourth kind of thing?
Yes. Do you know the name of the scale?
Yeah, I'd be saying the fourth kind. I've had maybe once or twice with the fifth kind where I've had slight telepathic communication, but that very rarely happens with me.
Oh, I'm surprised.
For a human to have telepathic connection for a human and a extraterrestrial, you've really got to be in the right zone. You've got to be in the right sort of state of mind. Like, it's got to do with the frequency. So you've really got to be in that. It normally happens when you're asleep or half asleep or in that dream state when your body's relaxed. You get into that state of mind where you can telepathically communicate with someone. However, if fear gets into it, so if you're scared or something, it'll block the communication barrier.
Alright, so for those of you who don't know, what Rose is talking about when she said close encounter of the fourth kind, fifth kind, she's going by descriptions on a scale. It's called the Hynek scale, and it was created by Joseph Allen Hynek, and it's what we use to rank certain encounters. Interestingly enough, Hynek was originally a skeptic and debunker. He worked for the U.S. Air Force, just debunking claims of UFOs, and eventually he turned into a believer and developed the Hynek scale. And of course, over the years, some of his assistants added on to it, because the original scale, it was just close encounters of the first kind to the third, and then they added fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So, yes, you guys, many of you are now finding out that there are more than one type of close encounter. A lot of people know Close Encounter of the Third Kind because of the movie. Rose, were you like that?
I definitely have got that movie, and I really enjoy watching it. I just love the fact that those people got to meet little alien beings. I thought that was the cutest thing ever. So I was always like, I want a Close Encounter of the Third Kind. I want one now.
Yeah, well, you got it. That and fourth.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, mine didn't happen as dramatically as the movie, but it's still up there in the communication of encounters.
So, another type of close encounter, since we're on the topic right now, and it's one of the more famous ones, which people still reference and study to this day. I'm still fascinated by it. And what made it even better was this was dealing with an interracial couple in a time period where that was a big no-no.
Yeah, that was horrible.
And of course, I'm talking about Betty and Barney Hill.
The most famous story of alien encounter.
You think it's the most famous?
I think it was one of the first stories that came out, like the very first big encounter story.
Yeah.
So for back in its day, it was a pretty big story.
Yeah, I agree. Even now, though, because we don't really hear any major stories or of abduction or anything like that. Not that I know of. Not currently.
Mm-hmm. I think because times have changed, where the extraterrestrials that were visiting the Earth back then. I mean, they've been visiting the Earth for thousands of years, but when they were first making themselves known to humans back then, I think they did things a little bit differently to what they do now. So they sort of, I guess they grow and expand as they learn about how we're going to interact with them.
Oh, so no more anal probing.
No, that never happens.
Yeah, because, you know.
For people that want to report anal probing, I think there's either something seriously wrong with that person, or it's their fear-based ego that's got to them, and they're just, yeah, I don't think that's what they do. So.
Okay, it never happened to you.
No, that I know of, but.
That you know.
I mean, okay, as Paul says in the movie Paul, what can one learn from an ass? That is what he says in the movie, and it's like, why do humans always think that we are going to probe you? Like, what can one learn from an ass?
That's a good question.
So, you know.
Okay.
So, yeah, they don't do that. Just to clear that up with everyone. That's not what they do.
Okay. The other reason why I brought up Betty and Barney Hill is because the ETs that they interacted with claim to have been Zeta Grays from Zeta Reticuli. And the ETs that interact with you are Zetas. So,
Zetas, yeah.
You know, I was hoping that maybe there's a little bit of a connection there for you with their case.
So the Zeta Reticulum star system is in our universe. It's, how do I explain? It's two planets. Two planets pretty close together to each other. So that's where they originated from. That's where these greys originally come from. I'm not 100% sure if they still live there or not. I'm not really 100% on that. But when Betty and Barney Hill, they actually drew a picture of what they saw on the ship, of what the Zeta Reticulum star system looked like, and back then we hadn't even discovered them. Like, I'm pretty sure when I was reading that story that it wasn't until later on that star system was found, after they drew exactly what the constellation looked like and how far away from Earth it was.
So, what's the difference between a Zeta Gray and an Orion Gray?
Well, the Orions originated from the Orion star system that I've been told, but I don't really know much information about that species exactly. I mean, if people want to get technical, yes, there are different species of extraterrestrial out there. You've got your Nordics, your Pleiadians, your Orions, and they're all different shapes and sizes. They all look different. They're different colors, different heights. But the way that they like to see it is we're all universal beings, even though we look different and we come from different planet systems. They do like to class us all as one race. Like, we're all universal beings. But if you're going to get really into the aspects of different looking greys, yes, there are different variations of one grey. So you've got the Zeta Reticuli star system where they originated from, but over the years they have mixed their DNA with other species. So there's going to be slight differences in how they look. Just like us humans, we've got, your different races all around the planet. We're all different skin colours, different nationalities, but we're all technically humans. So we're just different races of humans. So the same with the ETs. they're all going to be originated from the one species, but there's going to be different variations of that one species.
Okay.
Because they mix their DNA with other races. So you can class them as greys, Zeta greys. There's the Orion greys. There's all different looking extraterrestrials, but they do work under the one sort of. They all work together. So they're classing themselves as one universal race.
Okay, that makes sense.
If that makes sense, yeah.
It makes sense. I get it. And
like the way that humans have, humans, we're very, very stubborn. We have divided our planet into different categories of different races of people. But if you really look at us, we are all humans. We have arms and legs and toes, and we all look the same. It's just we have different color skins and different nationalities and different languages.
We all eat, sleep, drink.
We all do the same. Like, we're all the same. We're just different variations of one race. So, but they don't divide themselves. They consider themselves one, and they don't even see us as a different species to them. They see everyone as one because we are all from the same universe. We are all universal beings. So they don't like to divide people because that's what causes problems like here on Earth, where we are at war with each other and fighting against each other because people are looking at each other's differences instead of looking at our similarities. That's the word I was looking for.
Okay, now, let's say I'm someone outside looking in. Like, I'm not Melvin. I'm Peter. And I'm looking in, and I'm listening to you say this. And I ask, how do you know this? Who told you all this information?
Well, this is basically the stuff that I've been reading up on and been given from people that are close to me that have extraterrestrial experiences, like more than I have. People that are in communication with them. See, I don't get much communication with my I call them my star family.
Okay.
I don't have too much communication with them, but there are other people out there that have more communication than I do, so I'm getting my information from these other people that have experienced and have heard their message, and the message as the Greys to us humans here on Earth is we really just need to take a big look at ourselves and just, understand that we need to stop thinking like we have been. We need to start thinking in a different aspect of we need to treat each other as one. Don't treat someone like, if you don't want to be treated badly, then don't treat someone like that.
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Yeah. So they're basically just trying to educate us on look at the bigger picture here,
Yeah, I can see that, and I agree with that. So, now, why or how do you get in communication with them? How do you get that deeper connection so you can speak to them more or hear them?
The only way that they can communicate with a human is by telepathic communication. Because they don't use speech like us, not like we do. They do have some sort of, I think, their own sort of speech or language, but they mostly telepathically communicate with themselves and other species. So for a human, because we're on such a three-dimensional planet, we haven't really evolved into a greater level. How do I explain this? They are on a higher vibration of frequency, so their frequency is going to match our frequency for us to communicate. So for me to try and communicate with them, I have to try and meet them halfway, and the only way to do that is to cut out the fear and ego-based negativity that affects a person's frequency. So if I have an encounter in my room where I see something that scares me, that fear is going to drop my frequency down low, and I'm not going to be able to communicate with that person no matter how hard they try. And believe me, they try so hard to communicate with us, but it's our own personal emotions that cut us down in the end.
Okay, so I'm going to see if I can translate this a little bit better. All right, so... all right, so you have, your mind is totally 100% open. No walls or anything are up. However, if they pop up at random, which, let's face it, they pop up at random.
They do that a lot.
And you see them, and you don't understand what's happening, and you're not even going to try. Your first instinct is to, it's the fight or flight instinct, and you get that adrenaline pump and you freak out, and then you put your walls up, and it automatically stops and cuts off any type of communication that would have been possible.
That's exactly what happens.
Okay.
That is exactly why they get frustrated, because they're trying to communicate with us telepathically, but our own fear is cutting the communication barrier. So the only real way to communicate with them is to be completely open and try and cut that fear out. I have been working on my fear for about 5 years or so. So from day dot when they started visiting me to now, I have cut my fear down a lot. Okay. Because they will show up at random. They will do things that you don't understand. It kind of freaks you out. And trust me, you don't expect it when it happens. When it happens, and you're like, holy crap, this is happening. And you really got to learn. You just have to learn, okay, I've seen it now, I'm going to calm myself down. So you've really got to learn to calm yourself down. As soon as you can calm yourself down, you're on the right track of, yes, I can do this communication, it'll be good. Because, I rarely get communication between them and me, but it's happened once or twice where they have telepathically said something to me. Normally, it's when I'm in that dream state where I'm half asleep and I can communicate with them properly because I'm not awake.
Yeah, so and you're more open and in tune.
Yeah, and the fear doesn't get to me unless I'm sort of half awake. So.
Okay, and then. Yeah. And then on the flip side too, it's kind of unfair to them, because for them to meet us halfway, not only do we have to somehow get smarter to a certain extent, they have to get dumber, which is kind of messed up.
So when they come down to our level, like they come from the ship down here, they got to change their frequency to match Earth's atmosphere. So not only are they doing that to come down here to communicate with us, but they've got to turn their frequency down so that they can try and communicate with us, because they are on such a higher vibration.
Now
it's hard to explain exactly what it is, but it's got to do with the energy, like the universal energy in the everything runs on vibrations.
Yeah. All right, so it's almost, and this is the guy coming out in me, but it sounds like it's almost like rev matching, just trying to find that perfect spot to when you're revving your engine and let loose for the perfect takeoff. So that's how I'm interpreting it, but that's just it's just a personal thing, so I can understand it better. Someone else might see it as there is a certain flow to the universe that they understand, and we don't, because let's face it, they've been around much, much longer than we have.
They are definitely highly advanced.
So they understand things a lot better. And, we're infants. I mean, from a universal standpoint, we're infants.
Yeah, that's exactly how they see us. We are literally like children.
Yeah, and, while they understand that that universal flow, that universal energy, we don't. I mean, come on. We barely venture out into space. I mean, for some reason, we don't even go to the moon anymore. So, and it doesn't help that it's a lot of negative influences and, things that are sort of holding us back. And, and people who are in the know and they try to help and expand someone's horizon, they get ridiculed, and it just turns them off from it, and yeah, so it's a lot that you have to go through to get that. But I can also understand why we wouldn't exactly understand that energy or be able to open ourselves up to it and use it.
It's because we're such a physical world.
Yeah. But saying that, what about the next life? Like when we lose our physical bodies, what happens then? Are we still in communication with these extraterrestrial beings?
Communication's only going to get better as we evolve.
So it's just moving on to the next step.
Yeah, which has got to do with the human ladder, which I think I've explained once or twice before.
Yeah, you did. So, hey, it makes some sense to me, but again, I'm just a stupid human. What do I know? Now, in your honest opinion, I could be opening a can of worms here, because sometimes we speak to the same people. I won't mention names, because I didn't ask if it was cool if we could say any names. But do you think that you have had a past life as an ET, or any other, as an ET, or something that wasn't human?
Well, I think it's definitely possible. The only Earth, the only past life that I think I may have had on Earth would be if I was a Native American back years and years ago. Because I really don't feel that I'm connected to this planet. Like, I don't feel like this is my home. This is not my home. But the only human type past life I think that I would have been Native American, because the only thing that I love about this planet is nature. I love nature, and I love animals, and I love Native American people. I love the way that they communicate with each other and how close they are to nature and all that. So the only thing that I feel for this planet is Mother Nature. So, but other than that, I feel completely cut off from this planet, that I do not belong here, that I was originally somewhere else. And I know that there are a lot of greys that are actually down here on Earth at the moment in human form, but not everyone has memories of it. So, for example, if they're up on the ship and they're in their grey form, their communication with each other is like, okay, we need to go down to Earth and we need to try and help these people on the planet evolve past all their issues. So we're going to reincarnate a certain person on the ship down on Earth. So a grey is going to reincarnate as a human for this lifespan.
Wait a second. So you're telling me that they have the ability, like, okay, so I'm up on the ship, I'm a grey, and they're like, hey, you've been chosen for this mission. Are you saying that they have the ability to just poof me from being a grey, turn me into a human, and then I'm born on the planet?
They've got capabilities of that, yeah, because it's got to do with your astral body, and because your astral body is not a physical body. So they're basically, they're transferring you down into a newborn baby, like you're being born as a human. And then there are a lot of people on down here that actually do remember that they're greys, but a lot of people don't. Like, there are a lot of people out there that are confused about why they're down here, and that's one of the reasons why I wrote my story, because I do feel that it's quite possible that I was a grey, or I am a grey, but I'm down here having a human experience so that I can educate people on the topic and try and help the planet as best as I can. Because that's the job. So the greys on the ships, their job isn't to interact with humans as much. Yes, they do interact every now and then because they're taking you on board the ship. They're getting us prepared to evolve. So they're doing everything that they need to do, but they're doing it behind the scenes. But they're sending greys down to Earth as humans so that we can work on the planet here physically, so that we can communicate better with other humans.
Okay. You mentioned your story, and I just want everyone to know, Rose, she wrote out for everyone to read her. I won't say life events, but events circulating around ET experiences and a few other things. And if you'd like to read it, which I suggest you do, it's good. You could go to our Facebook page, Unexplained Possibilities, at facebook.com, and it's I pinned it to the top of the page, so it's always going to be there at the very top. It's the first thing you'll see. Give it a read. It's good. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off like
No,
that.
that's okay.
If I didn't say it then, I would never have said it.
So I can't really explain how they do what they do because I don't know, but I do know it's possible.
Yeah. Okay. So, in your humble opinion, and again, this could be opening a can of worms, do you think that I am or was potentially some type of extraterrestrial?
It's possible, but I don't know for sure.
Well, no. I asked for your opinion. You won't hurt my feelings.
I don't know. I can't, you can't just look at a person and tell, It's not that easy.
Oh, no.
It's a matter of you have to feel it inside of you. So if I feel I'm connected to my grey family, then yeah, I feel like they're my family, whether it's physical or non-physical. I feel like I'm a part of them and they're a part of me. So I kind of know that, yeah, I'm involved with them one way or another. You, however, don't like to have experiences because you're scared.
Oh, now you're calling me a chicken.
You are. Sometimes you are a chicken, Melvin.
I'm not a chicken. I just deal with things differently.
You do. But then again, you've got your own special abilities and stuff. So, I mean, it's quite possible that you were once an extraterrestrial, but there's so many planets out there, and not all of them are highly advanced. So there's a lot of other planets out there that are like Earth. So we could have been in another planet like Earth.
Now that you mention that, I did another recording with someone we're going to have on the show and talk about his encounters later on with his girlfriend. And we were actually discussing how there are so many planets out there, and we're not the only planet in this stage of life that's still developing and all that stuff. And
yeah, we are not the only planet that is on the low scale of communication with them. So there are other planets like us that need to evolve just like we do. However, because our planet's so divided, we are one of the worst planets to deal with because of... Unfortunately, it's the way that the planet has gone, where we are all divided and the government wants to be controlling, and we just have a lot of issues, and we're just so hard to deal with. As other planets like us, I don't think they're as divided as we are. Mm-hmm. They still have war and fighting and all that kind of thing, but they're not as divided as we are. So we are a little bit more stubborn and a little bit more hard to get along with. So,
well, you know what? This sounds like an American. So I'm inclined to believe that the U.S. is ruining the planet.
I'm sorry to say, but I think the U.S. government is the worst government on the planet.
I won't say the worst. I won't say the worst, but definitely in the top 10.
Alongside Russia.
Oh, God. Putin's an
Russia's
idiot.
Pretty bad.
Yeah. So, I tell you what, though. Now, I don't know how we're jumping into politics real quick. Something I don't like doing, but it needs to be said.
I can't stand politics.
Yeah. If somehow this moron Trump becomes president, I am 100% moving to Australia. You heard it here first, folks. Like, I'm going to be your neighbor, which may or may not be a good thing, because, I might try and freak you out, just stare into your window and hey, Rose, look at me. Yeah. Actually, I take that back. You would do that to me.
I probably would.
Yeah, you would do that to me.
Except I'd probably do something a little bit more ballsy, but I'm not going to get into that because that's just no.
Oh no, I want to hear this. Please go.
I don't know.
I'll edit it out if it's too bad. Don't worry. Yes, what? Please, let's hear this.
Well, I was going to do something that was really bad and kind of racist.
Oh, God.
I'd stand in front of your window with like a big white...
Sorry, guys, you don't know what was said because I edited it out. You don't need to know. And we're going to continue on. So, with there being so many planets, I mean, do you have an idea on how many visitors we get here?
How many visitors, like different species or just...
Yeah, the different species or, you know, gray, Nordic, Pleiadians.
There's a lot of them, I know that.
I mean...
I think the way that they do it is they section themselves out to different parts of the planet. So the Zetas are definitely Australian, as opposed to some parts in other parts of the world, you're going to get other species. So,
you know what's interesting about that? And I'm happy you brought it up. When I was doing some research and everything, they actually said that in the U.S., for whatever reason, we have the most contact with grays. It's very rare we see anything other than a gray. And I was curious about that. Like, why? I mean, you know...
Yeah, I think they divide them, like, because they got different groups. So, you know, say you got the big mothership. I mean, there's got to be more than one mothership. There's too many of them. So, they send their smaller ships down to the planet. They section themselves. They're like, okay, this group of ships, you go down to this part of the world. This group of ships, you go to that part of the world. And they all work together. It's not like you've got different species coming from different parts of the universe. They're all working together. So they're all communicating with each other. And they're saying, right, you guys need to go over here. You guys need to go over here. And this is your job list for the night. So they have different groups of people that work in different sections of the planet, and I personally have my own group of greys that work with me as opposed to everyone else. So if my name's not on the list, they won't visit me that night. But there's probably still one or two of them that are hanging around because they're my personal greys that are either related to me or the ones that have to watch me that are always going to be hovering around making sure I'm fine. Okay. So does that make sense?
To me, it does. I mean, it's like you have your own little secret service.
Not really. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm special or anything, but they do this with everyone that I'm like everyone that I know of. But so yes, I've got my own. I've got greys that I'm probably most likely related to, or like my family. So I've got my grey family, and then you got your greys that are working. You know, they're mainly just working. They're like the little workers. Okay. So the workers will come down. So if they're doing a shift where I'm on a list, they're going, okay, we need to go see this person and do this to this person. So they're going to come down, and they're probably not going to communicate with me that much because they're just there to do their job and go home. So it's a job. They got jobs. They got to do things. So yes, I'm going to have the nights where I'm going to get visited by workers, but then there's going to be the other times where I'm actually going to have a little bit more of an experience because it's actually someone wanting to communicate with me on a different level.
Okay, I can understand that.
So yeah, we've got our own little groups that deal with different people, but they all work together as one. But then you're going to have your own family as well. You're going to have your own friends and family that are trying to communicate with you as well.
Okay. I totally understand that. I get it. It's a big family.
Well, yeah. I mean, I actually don't like calling them workers because I feel like I'm downgrading them. Because you've got your workers, you've got your teachers, and you've got your guardians. And you'll find that the taller the being, the more highly advanced the being is. So the short ones are the workers, and then the mid-sized ones are your teachers or your doctors or your helpers. And then, yeah, the next ones up are your guardians. And, oh, my God, I need to tell you about the guardians. They are... oh, they're just so, like, they're amazing. Like, they are just so helpful and so loving, and all they want to do is just, you know, they just want to help us. So it's mostly the teachers and guardians and that are giving the orders to the workers and that to, you know, go do this. You know, this is your job tonight.
Have you encountered a guardian?
Yeah, I have once. So normally, I really haven't seen them that, like, technically speaking, I haven't really physically seen them. But I've had, well, actually, no, once I have. The one time that I was fully conscious and fully awake, was not asleep, I saw a short grey, I saw the back of his head. So he was just, you know, I saw the grey head and I saw the grey sort of, you know, suit or whatever he was wearing. I can't explain what it was, but he was only partly visible. Like I said, with the frequencies, he was only partly visible, so it was almost like a ghost. So I saw him briefly for a second as he walked past my mirror and down the hallway, and that was the only time I ever saw something when I was awake. The other times that I've seen things is when I've been in a dream state or I've been half asleep or something. So normally I deal with the short grey ones, which I'm pretty sure are just the helpers. Mm-hmm. Whether they're just keeping an eye on me, making sure I'm okay, or whether they're coming down here to do tests or something on me, I don't know. But they're the ones that I normally deal with because they're the ones that look after me. But I did have an experience recently with the guardian who telepathically communicated to me, because this rarely happens, where I've woken up. So I've woken up and because I heard footsteps or something. Like I'm awake, but I'm not fully awake. So you got to understand that I'm sort of half asleep still, because it's the way that my body was adjusting to the frequency, I guess. So I've heard footsteps and I've seen this big black shadow coming towards me, like at the end of the bed, coming towards me. And the telepathic message was, "I love you." And I think the reason why that message was laid back to me was because I've been trying to lay that message onto them. I've been trying to communicate with them by telling them, like, almost every night when I go to bed, I always say, "I love you, you know, come and see me," you know. I always try and give out positive vibes so that they understand that I want nothing but unconditional love. That's all I ask for, is universal love, because until you've experienced that unconditional love, it is just so good. It's like the best love you could ever feel. Like, it's not a sexual love, it's just pure love for another being. So that message was laid back to me because I was putting that information out to them. So that was laid back to me, and that was the only telepathic message that was really clear in my head that I remember. And then that being was so tall. So there's this big black shadow coming towards me, but it was so tall. Like, it was like not what I'm used to. I'm used to the short beings to about my height. And this one was really tall, and the blackness, the shadow that I saw was actually their robes. So the guardians wear these big black robes to cover their face and to cover their body, so that when they do have interactions with humans, they don't scare the living crap out of us. So yeah, I did slightly see a face on this being, and the face was very... I didn't see much of it, and I don't really recall much of it, but I know it kind of scared me a little bit because I wasn't expecting it. The short little greys, they don't seem to worry me too much, but the guardians look a lot different. So I wasn't expecting the face that I saw, and I'm like, wow. And the first thing I thought was, no wonder you guys hide what you look like to other people, because I'm kind of sitting here and I'm kind of calm, but I'm kind of panicking because I'm scared. So I was actually starting to freak out. But then when that being communicated with me, I realized who that being was, and as soon as I found out who that person was, I calmed down straight away, because I'm like, I'm safe. I know who this person is, and ended up going back to bed. So I fell back to sleep.
Oh, there you go.
So I don't really want to get into who that person was because I don't really want to.
Yeah, you don't want to out them. Yeah, I get it.
No, but it was a very loving experience, and I'm very happy that it happened because it kind of opened me up to, okay, I understand why they hide from people now. Because I always like say to myself, oh, I can handle it. You know, when they come down and visit me, I can handle it. I'm not scared.
We had personal conversations about that too, and I'm like, I don't know.
It's like, I'm not scared, I can handle that. But as soon as you see it, you're like, holy shit. Like, I wasn't, like, over the top scared. I was just like, oh my god, is this happening?
Okay, so you didn't run around with your, like, head cut off or nothing.
I calmed, like I said, I've taught myself to calm down. If you're in a situation where you know you're going to freak out, you just got to calm yourself down. You just got to really learn to calm yourself down. If you can do that, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work for me, but...
Yeah. The way I calm myself down is I trust them. They're not going to hurt me. They're just trying to communicate with me, and as long as I am, you know, if I stay as calm as I can, you know, nothing bad will happen. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. I can't say I would reciprocate that, but it's a good way to do it. I would be screaming like a little girl. Help! So, but that's cool that you had that experience, and it seems like it was nothing but positive for you.
Yeah, I think it was just more so a push in the right direction for me of, you know, just trying to get my energy right so that I can communicate more with them, and just trying to focus on calming my energy and making sure that my human ego doesn't get the better of me.
Yeah, oh, that ego. So, one of my problems is, well, yeah, no, I would honestly freak. I think they might want to have or develop a better way of interacting with people. I mean, not saying that their way isn't good, but I think it could be better. Especially if we're dealing with someone like myself, if they were to pop up or something, you know, maybe little by little, I mean very little by little, which I'm assuming they do that anyway. So
well, that's what they've done with me over the time. They haven't just like gone, rah, we're here. They've small steps. They've shown me little things at a time so that I can understand more of a aspect of, holy crap, this can actually happen. Because when you're in that human state of mind, you're like, that's impossible, that can't happen, that's like, you know, that's against the rules of physics. And then they slowly show you things so that you can understand that, yes, this is actually, you know,
now,
this is real.
If I remember correctly, they stole dog biscuits from you.
Pig's ears, actually.
Oh, pig's ears, okay.
No, I don't know what happened. This was ages ago. I was getting ready to go to work, and I took some pig's ears out of a packet, and I left them on the bench to remind me before I left for work to give them to my dogs. So I left them on the bench, and I went and did something, and then I come back to the bench, and they were gone. And I'm like, what the? I'm like, I just put these on the bench. Where are they? And I went looking for them everywhere, and I'm like, where the hell are these pig's ears gone? I could not find them, and I shit you not, I think that someone stole them. I think someone stole my pig's ears as a joke, and the Greys do have that kind of, they do have a funny side to them. They do like to joke around and do stuff like that.
So they actually have a sense of humor.
They do have a sense of humor. It is a little bit different to our sense of humor, but they do have one.
Because oftentimes we hear that they're robotic, they're cyborgs.
No, they're not. No. They're not like that at all. So yeah, I could not believe my pig's ears got stolen, and I'm just like, well, looks like the dogs aren't getting a treat today.
I hope you guys are happy. You ruined it for the pups. So.
Anyhow, they don't need treats. They're fat enough. But yeah, and another thing that they've done before was I've once woken up with my pajama shorts inside out. And I know for a fact that when I went to bed that night, that they were not inside out. And when I went to get up the next morning, I'm like, why are my pants inside out for? And I couldn't understand why they were like that. And I thought, you know what, these damn greys are joking around with me again. They've pulled my pants off and put them on inside out.
I'm sorry, I have to think about that for a second.
They do little things like that because it's funny. It is a joke. And I thought it was quite funny. I was laughing.
So,
the first thing that come to mind was, you bloody greys, you joking around with me again.
Out of curiosity, did you have undies on?
I did have underwear on.
Okay, so no pre-show.
They did not do anything sexual. They did not do anything sexual.
I didn't mention anything sexual. I just asked if you had some on, and those weren't backwards either, right?
No, it was just. It's just their way of saying hi and ha ha ha, I got you.
How about a handshake?
They're not really like that.
I
like touching their hands though. Their hands are really soft.
He said like a dolphin, actually. Didn't he say they have kind of like dolphin skin?
Oh yeah. Some way in another, I think they're related to dolphins somehow, but that's something I can't really comment on because I don't understand it properly.
Yeah. Well, if there are any Greys listening, specifically the ones who visit you, Rose, if you want to say hi to me, feel free to do that by leaving money any and everywhere. Thank you.
They don't like money because money is one of the reasons why this planet is so divided.
I understand that, but I kind of need it, so please. But yeah, I can understand that though. I mean, they do say money is the root of all evil, and
I've got a list of things of what's creating the issues on Earth. Number one is going to be money, I think.
Yeah.
You've got money, you've got religion, you've got government, and you've got ignorant people.
I agree with all of that. I would actually...
The government and corporations, they want to control everyone and they want to have money. Money is what divides people into rich, poor, and poverty. Religion is also what divides us as human beings, as, what people believe in and crap. Then you got race, because people are ignorant and they see different races as not a good thing, and it's, yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree 100%. Government, money, religion, ignorance. Ignorance is probably numero uno for me, because out of ignorance...
What really gets me with the whole ignorance thing is people are believing everything they see on the media. Stop believing in the media, people. Not everything you see on TV and the news is actually the 100% the truth.
Now, you want to know what's scary? A statistic came out. It's about 300 million people in the U.S. Out of that 300 million, an average of 3 million people actually watch the news media or a major news outlet. Just 3 million. I don't know if that's a testament to how many people just don't care about media, or if it's that 3 million people, they're I won't say they're morons, but they're whatever, but that 297 million are in complete ignorance and have no idea what the current events are. They don't know what's really going on, and they're just blind to everything, even though media is biased. But you still need some type of current events just to get an idea on what's going on. And I mean, 297 million people are blind to that.
I don't pay attention to anything with the media. I don't even know the full story about the latest ISIS attack because I'm so sick of hearing about it that I just tune myself out, because I'm like, I don't give a shit about what the media says. I care about stories like that, but it pisses me off that the media over-exaggerates, or they don't give you the 100% the truth.
Yeah, it's very one-sided.
Yeah, and it shits me off because they're saying, oh, these people are terrorists and all this shit. I'm like, I don't believe what the media says. I don't believe that all these attacks and all that crap that's happening is not government related. And I have a funny feeling that it is government controlled and it is all organized. But, you know, I don't have any proof for that. But I just don't care about the media. And if I hear about a story, I'm not really going to pay attention to it or listen to the full details because I don't believe it. You know, if you want to believe something, you got to get the facts, and you know, you got to see the facts, you know, handed out to you, not just, oh, this is what the media says. So.
Well, you know what? One might call you a hypocrite, though.
Why? Why am I a hypocrite?
Because you just said you want the facts and you need it 100% this and that. But then, when you speak about extraterrestrials or anything supernatural, paranormal, they'll say, I want the facts. Show me 100% proof or this and that. And, you know, in this type of field, you can't. It's just, it's impossible at the moment.
I understand, like, because people always want proof and all that crap. It's like, you can't really have proof until you experience it yourself. But what I mean by facts about the media and that is they need to lay out exactly what's happened and give you the right facts instead of just saying, oh, this has happened without giving you all the information to go with it. Yeah. They're just saying, well, this is what's happened, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, well, you know, there's so many people on the internet saying, well, where's your video proof that this attack happened, you know, and all you're seeing is what the media is laying out to you. So they're feeding you information so that you believe it, but you don't know if that's true or not. Like, how do you know?
And then there are slight differences, too. I mean, you're dealing with something that doesn't exactly want to be seen versus something that's usually catastrophic, and it is seen. So,
if a major events happen, and the media is just saying, you know, this is what's happened, let's blame the terrorists, and they're not really giving you the full facts. It's like, well, you need to explain a bit more what's happened. You need to show us what's happened, you know, show us the evidence of how this happened. Like, you know, with that whole, like, the missing planes and all that stuff, and then there was one of those missing planes that was found. They had all these brand new passports just laid out in a wreckage. Do you remember that?
No, I don't. But
it was one of those planes, Malaysian air flights, that went missing. I think it was because it was Australia related. There was a Malaysian air flight that had Australians on board, and it went missing. And then they found the wreckage of a plane, but they had all these brand new passports that would just happen to have been found in a wreckage of an airplane, and everything was all caught on fire and shit. And everyone was saying, well, why are there brand new passports laid out in a wreckage full of shit? You know? That's the kind of stuff that the media wants to feed you. Oh, look at these brand new passports that we just found in this plane wreckage. Oh, yeah, because that makes sense. Okay. So it's stuff like that I'm trying to target. If you want to listen to the media, you need to make sure that they're telling you the full truth.
And we are getting way off topic.
I'm sorry. I'm very passionate about people lying and not telling you the truth. And, you know, they just want the whole planet controlled. And I don't like the way that they think that they control us, because they definitely are not controlling me.
Yeah, you want to hear a rant, folks? Get her started on media and government.
Yeah.
Ow. And I just pulled my earphones out of my ears so hard. It hurts so bad. That is karma. Instant karma. But, yeah. Anyway. Okay, so I don't even know how to make a segue from that. That was different. Well, not different.
You can cut that out if you want.
I'm not cutting it out. It's staying in. That was good.
Fine.
You know,
fine.
I like the Rose rants. Ooh, that might be a new segment. Rose rants.
All right.
So, back to your.
No one ever listens to my rants anyway.
Well, I do. I do. Well, yeah, you're gonna tell me whether I want to listen to it or not, so it doesn't matter. I have no choice. But, yeah, back to your encounters. You know what? I'm gonna actually ask you something. I'm gonna be a little bit personal here. And recently, and as you know, I don't really dream. I usually just go to sleep, wake up, you know. And recently, though, I've had a couple of odd dreams. The oddest one being some type of entity in the room speaking to me. And I remember it being tall and like I think it was black or wearing black or it was black. I something with black, and it was yapping, but I cannot remember what it said now, which is kind of annoying.
That happens to me all the time. Whenever something happens in a dream state or something and they're trying to communicate with me, I can never remember. I'll wake up the next morning going, damn it, I wish I would have known what that message was about.
Yeah, so what would you make of that? Like, if someone is now starting to have weird dreams with these beings and stuff, and then they're starting to get more and more frequent, and you're becoming more aware.
They're probably just trying to communicate with you, and they're going to do it more and more until they get the message through.
Okay, so what would that message be? I know, you don't know the answer to that. You can't answer that. I know. Now, is it possible for... Well, I'll use us as an example. We've known each other for 4 years, soon to be 5 years. And is it possible that your ETs are going to start visiting me?
They probably already have. Just to, freak you out.
Oh, yeah, because you told him to?
Yeah.
Hey, go freak him out. It'll be fun.
I said Melvin's a pussy. He's afraid of you. You should go scare him. Look, like I said, there's different groups out there. They visit different people. So yeah, there might be people that I'm interacting with here in my human life. They're probably interacting with people that I know just to, I don't know, get whatever information that they need, as opposed to who I'm communicating with and what's happening and all that. So yeah, it's a good chance that you are being visited.
Okay. Now, what would you say for people who are new to these types of encounters, like 100% brand new? They just had their cherry popped, and they're freaking out.
Just trying to calm down. I know it's hard because when it is easier said than done. The best situation you could put yourself in is to try and calm yourself down. If something's bothering you or you're scared, you could always just let them know that you're scared. Just go away. I'm scared. Just come back another time. You can relay those messages to them. So the best advice is to just try and calm yourself down and try not to be scared. The more frequently they visit you, the more you're going to get used to it, and the less scared you're going to be.
Okay. Now, what about those who have more negative type experiences? I mean, I know you said that sometimes it's their own fear that's playing against them, but it can't be all the time.
Well, and there's also a bit of karma there too. So let's say you have a really bad person who's like a terrible, terrible person. So, they're a murderer or something like that, and they're having alien encounters where they're getting tortured or mistreated. It could be their own karma just laying back to them, going, well, this is how you treat people, so, I mean, I don't think the ETs would enjoy torturing people. That's not who they are. But it's possible that they might be trying to teach the person a lesson.
Now, and it could be government as well.
Yeah, well, the government has their way of controlling the planet. There is the secret government that know about the extraterrestrials that I think have something to do with the cyborg or robotic aliens. People keep saying that they think that they're robots or whatever, but I think there is some type of government I don't really know what it would be, but maybe government created extraterrestrials. I don't know how.
So they're using the ET phenomenon as a cover to run their own little tests.
Yeah,
or whatever.
It's possible. I mean, the government is so controlling, and there are stories that they have these extraterrestrials working with them, or they've got their technology and all that stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if the government influenced something that is trying to have a negative effect on people, so that people are stuck in their fear and they're not going to evolve. Because the only way that humans are going to evolve, if we stop getting stuck in our fear and our ego, we need to evolve past that. And if we're going to be stuck in that sense of mind, we're never going to evolve as a planet.
And that's the key word too, evolve as a planet. That requires everyone to come together.
Not just a couple of people. Everyone needs to understand that, there are things trying to control us, mostly fear-based, which is why I hate the media so much, because the media puts so much fear into people. And that is what is controlling us. The only way that we can get over that is to be better than letting that get to us. So it really is hard to explain, but the ETs that are visiting this planet are not here to be negative to any human at all, unless, of course, that human deserves it. So if a human deserves, but that's karma. But then they're not going to sit there and torture you, but they could be trying to teach you a lesson by going, well, they could have a scary experience because they're trying to show that person that, they shouldn't do that to other people.
Okay, but ultimately they wouldn't hurt them.
No.
Oh, okay, that's something I think we should really clear up. They wouldn't harm them in any way. They might, freak them out a little bit.
They might freak them out a little bit and give them a bit of a shock, as karma, because if they're going to be, they're going to be assholes, then they can just get a bit of karma back to them.
Well, it was a lot of cursing this time. Okay.
Let's just put it this way. If I was a Grey and I was to abduct a person that I know was a bad person, this person's a murderer, they're a rapist, I don't like this person, I'm going to scare the living shit out of that person just to give them some payback.
Okay, but then that seems kind of contradictory, because they want to help, they want to teach us.
Oh, yeah, but it's still teaching them, though.
Yeah, but is it teaching them the right thing? I mean, what can you learn from being scared half to death? I mean, especially if you don't know why it's...
I'm trying to say that it's karma. I'm not necessarily saying it's extraterrestrials that are scaring people deliberately, but
it's karma itself, and it might be working through them.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go. So,
if you're going to treat someone badly, and then you get treated, I don't know, you get treated badly by some extraterrestrial being or whatever, it's well, karma, man. You treat someone badly, then you're going to get treated badly.
You had it coming. I don't want to see you as an ET.
I'm going to come visit you.
I don't want that.
I'm going to stand next to your bed and I'm going to stare at you.
That happened to you, though. Something like that. Yeah. So, no, I don't need that. No, I'll pass. Okay, so, let's start wrapping things up. Let's talk a little bit more about your encounters. They've all been positive.
Yes.
That's the first thing. All of them. And have you learned anything from them?
I've learned a lot of things from them.
Such as?
Oh, God, I don't even know where to begin, Melvin.
Oh, I put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did put me on the spot.
I'm sorry.
Let's just say that a couple of years ago, I was really, really lost. I had no idea who I was. Didn't really feel connected to anyone on this planet. Didn't feel like I belonged here.
Oh, you weren't connected to me?
You know what I mean. I don't feel like I belong here. And I was in a really, really bad state. you know, I was going through depression, and I still am a little bit, not as much. But, yeah, I was just in a really bad state of mind. And by them coming to visit me and showing me things, it's opened my mind up so much that it's been a good experience for me, so that I'm a bit more positive now. I'm not as negative as I used to be. And I still had, like, I was really, really negative on the whole, I hate being here. I hate this planet sucks, you know,
Yeah,
the government
I remember
corrupt.
that.
All the people that I got to deal with on a daily basis, I hate them, and like it was really negative. But by them opening themselves up to me, and through their kindness and showing me all these different things that I could never imagine possible, like just seeing things like there's ships and stuff in the sky, like just them doing little things like that, it's really just opened my mind up even further. And it's been such a positive experience that I'm now more of a positive person, because I now understand maybe why I'm here. Like, maybe I'm just here to help educate people, like, you know. And this is something that was posted on another Facebook page the other day, was this life experience. It feels like such a long life experience, and I don't want to be here, but this is just a tiny little speck of my full soul experience. So, you know, my next reincarnation and all that. So this is only like one little speck of my entire soul experience. So it might seem like a long time that I'm stuck on this planet, even though I don't want to, like, I don't really want to be here. I don't, you know, I'm a bit more positive about it now, because I'm here for a reason. I'm here to live out my life, and then next lifetime I'm going to be somewhere else, and I'm going to be happy to be somewhere else. Hopefully not back on. If I'm back on this planet, I swear to God, I better be something like a dolphin or a horse, because if I'm a human again, I'm not going to be happy.
Okay, noted. And you know what?
If I have to live another lifespan on this planet, it better be a freaking animal that I like, not something that gets eaten.
I think this is a good place to end it. So, you either swimming off into the sea as a dolphin or right into the sunset as a horse next lifetime. With that said, remember, guys, there are things that go bump in the night. Remember to say hi. Bye, everybody.
Bye.